Serious, what is a great career path that kids in college want to where exists? Oh perfect, no one knows about my career. Only 3,500 people doing it nationwide, and we are in a job shortage. I'm a perfusionist and run the cardiopulmonary bypass machine during heart surgeries. Get a Bachelor of Science degree, then go to a perfusion school, 1 or 2 year program. I'm 4 years out of school and made 6 figures last year. I probably averaged 30 to 35 hours per week. It can be stressful because you can kill a patient very easily. Won't happen unless you're careless, but it is very rewarding to know you are saving people's lives every day. If you're from the UK/US, some people in China will pay you great money to babysit their kids so their kids can learn the right accent and manners. They'll prefer someone with a college education since it's more prestigious, and I know someone who was earning $50K straight away. There are agencies that arrange this sort of deal, but you won't get near the number quoted because the agency gets a massive cut. I'm currently living with a Chinese family as an AU pair, but my take home is garbage. If you know nothing about Chinese culture and language and have no potential ways to find it, it would be a good idea to go through one of these agencies to begin with and then find a family to go full time with after your contract is up. Merchant Marines. I graduated from a 4-year maritime academy and got a job immediately working 1 month on 1 month off and an 80K a year salary. 5 years later I make 100K a year and only work half of it. Edit. I went to an academy which expedited me to a high-ranking position. However, you don't need a college degree nor go to school to get into this industry. Engineers, they're an extremely vital aspect to every boat. If you have a knack for engines and building things, it's also a huge advantage, especially if you want to go the engineering route. If you go to an academy you can also major in marine engineering. Medical laboratory sciences. In the US, there are severe shortages in the workforce due to new, higher standards for certification and education. It is something that has well-paid positions at multiple levels of degrees, although associate and bachelor are the most common. Do you like doing science and biological stuff? Do you like being a part of healthcare, but hate dealing with sick people directly? Lab services might be for you if you answered yes to both of those questions. Technical writer. Page intentionally left blank for $17/HR starting. You don't need a degree or experience in the field directly if you have a solid portfolio and know the current issues/trends/hot topics. The field is massively in flux right now, and with so much focus on usability, it's a fun place to be if you like research, design, and analysis. Although I do spend an extraordinary amount of time talking to coworkers to understand what they want, and fairly little time making the thing. A lot of the smaller healthcare professions get forgotten by kids in college or high school. Everyone focuses on being a doctor, nurse, dentist, or pharmacist, but there are so many other professions in healthcare. Speech-language pathologists, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, respiratory therapists, medical imaging technologists, X-ray, MRI, nuclear medicine, radiation therapists, dietitians, audiologists, chiropodists, laboratory technologists. I'm sure I've forgotten some. They all tend to pay middle-class income or better with reasonable hours. They require specialized knowledge and skills that put your brain to work at least a little bit each day, and you get to work with patients who are typically quite appreciative. Interpreter. INIC being one for the courts is very lucrative and in demand. Not that everyone can be proficient in 2 languages, but if you are proficient, a degree isn't needed, so long as you can pass a series of tests. Edit. For everyone saying about how the technology is going to replace this, I say you may be right, but I'd be very surprised to see court systems or education systems implementing anything new with pace, especially when there's such liability involved. I think it's going to take longer than a lot of you expect, no matter how good the tech gets. Mostly because any agency just takes forever to change anything, and B, it usually takes a lot longer than most people think for something like this to be tested rigorously enough for real world application. As an example, I ask, why hasn't speech to text replaced stenographers yet? Find a union factory job if you're looking for unskilled work. I entered at 35k. I'll be at 50k within the next year. I have full health, prescription, and dental insurance, and it's basically impossible to fire me unless there are layoffs or I really fuck up. In the United Kingdom, apprenticeships, no debt, a wage and a career lined up and waiting for you. For example, helicopter engineer, tow boats. If you get on with a good company, you can start off making $30-40k a year. After a year and a half or so, you can get a tankerman certification along with a significant pay raise. Within 10 years, if you work hard and do everything you need to do, you could be looking at $100k plus working 6 months out of the year. You could do it faster if you're willing to pay for some school. My grandpa is a captain and $500 a day is the lowest he'll go out for, and that's only if he's desperate to get out of the house. On top of that, he's what they call a tripper, which pretty much just means freelance. He goes out when he feels like it and stays home when he doesn't. Funeral director, mortician, and embalmer. It takes very little college to become one, and they pay well. Funeral directors usually even get a free house out of the deal. Also hazmat cleanup. Like 18 months of school for a 60k USD per year job. Plus you get to travel all over the world. It's gaining more traction, as in more universities are offering it as a major, but supply chain management offers a great career opportunity. Less conventional or glorified positions like analytics or NOC technicians. They pay from $45k to $75k, depending on experience, location, and schedule. A technician / operator / analyst / engineer who works out of a network operations center, or NOC for short. They monitor the tech backbone of a corporation, usually a 24/7 gig, and are first responders to problems that can quickly cause huge revenue loss, like down at servers or websites. Military to federal govt bureaucrat. If you are able-bodied, you can get into at least one branch of the US military. Once you make it through training, it's exceptionally difficult to get yourself fired. Deployments to war zones are exceptionally rare right now as well. After 4 years, you get out and get paid a full-time salary to become a college student. That's your whole job, going to school, post 9/11 GI Bill, graduate, and start applying to federal gov jobs on USA jobs. Governor, with military experience and the degree you earned for free and got paid to study, you can be making 60k by the time you're 24 and no college debt. And most gov jobs can currently only hire existing gov employees or veterans. That's the rule. In 2004, I was homeless. I joined the military, went to school on post 9/11 GI Bill, then got a federal job making about 75k per year. I was then headhunted to become the spokesman for a hospital, my current job, where I make even more money in a cheaper part of the country. I'm not a recruiter, the military is not for everyone, and I had a lot of reasons I didn't make it into a full career. There's a good deal of bullshit involved, but at the end of the day, I'm living a very easy life thanks to investing 4 early years of my life into the military. Actuary. Go to the cheapest state school, get a math degree, pass the exams. Entry level is close to 75k. Pay keeps rising as you progress through exams. After becoming an associate of an actuarial society, you earn close to 150-200k. I know of people doing that in 4 years after graduating. Plus the work-life balance is excellent as well as job security. No need for an Ivy League education or to be at a Wall Street target school. Also no need for graduate school. My G/F's brother is doing HVAC/sheet metal work. 22 years old and already making $23 an hour, which is pretty damn good where we live. Finish your bachelor's in anything and complete a 1-month full-time CELTA course. You can find a place to study this course in pretty much every country in the world. Then move to Sydney or Dubai, etc. and teach English as a second language, ESL, to foreigners. In Sydney, for example, you can get a job working for one of the major universities. They teach English to foreign students who want to study at the uni and who have all the necessary requirements to do so except for the required English level. And so they take a 10-week course hoping to improve their English enough in time for enrollment. The one I worked at has 2,500 foreign students enrolled in one of these pathway courses, mainly Chinese, Korean, Brazilian and students from the Middle East, etc. and employs 230 teachers. And they pay $92/HR, plus 17.5% contribution to your superfund. And a full-time teaching load is 4 hours of teaching a day, 2x 2-hour lessons. That's $1,840 a week, or $95 kPA. Plus super. And the lesson prep time is almost non-existent, as the universities have been running these courses for so many years that they've tailored all the material to be ready to serve. And the demand for English teaching from foreigners is increasing at a huge rate and will continue to do so for many years. If you can write, can manage a project, and have some basic graphic design skills, there are always jobs in instructional design, specifically online course development. Not difficult at all to be making 60k within 2 years, or 80k after 5. I have hired web designers and graphic artists, since work in hardcore creative roles can be harder to find. They pick up the tools in no time, and make good money. Any municipal job. In the NIC area there are several agencies that don't require a degree, and are good careers, especially within transportation. Piano tuning gets you up to £75 an hour, and there are elderly tuners literally begging to hand over full schedules of work. You can find work all over the world, and don't have to do too many hours to earn a good living. In Poland we have a serious shortage of all sorts of gas fitters, technicians, and engineers. After a 2-year school you'll get a job that pays twice as much as entry-level architect or doctor. Technical business analyst. I went into college planning on being a C# programmer, but fell out of love with the idea of coding in a cubicle 8 hours a day. I wanted to use my technical knowledge and people skills together, and be involved with the creative process. A BA is the guy who takes business requirements from executives or clients, and forms them into actionable tasks for developers. A good BA needs to become very rooted in the needs of the company, and also have enough technical knowledge to relay that information to developers. Yes, it's a lot of documentation, but also can involve wireframing, actually designing the UI for front-end applications. The career path for a BA is BA, Technical BA, Project Manager, Scrum Master, Chief Technical Officer or Chief Information Officer. In practical terms 35k/year, 65, 80k, 100k, plus 150k. TL. Doctor like coding, but don't like to code. Get paid 35k fresh out of college to tell developers what to do.